Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another edition of Coffee and Sports in the Morning, right here on Wide Network. I'm your host for today, Mr. William Morgan. I have my partners in crime here. I got my man Mo Better. Mo, how you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Will. Good morning, chat. Morning.
All right, then we got my man Gardy Three in the building coming through for us this morning. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
Good. All right. The first thing I want to go over, since we got a couple of wrestling guys this morning, which is all good, all good. I want to talk about WWE Heat Wave. Did we all see it?
I did not see it.
Let's say I caught up with it.
It was weird. I know it's an NXT event. They're not exactly norm, but to me, it just felt weird. You had a singles match for the NXT World Championship. Obi Femi defeated Javon Evans by pinfall. The event just felt, it didn't feel like a normal NXT event to me. It felt a little weird. But you saw it, Gardner. What did you think about that match?
I'll say it. I'm gonna quote a little Charles Barkley here. Just because I know everybody gets the reference. Watching that main event, what I realize is Obafemi and Javon have say 4 words: Obafemi, Javon Evans, must see TV. Nah, for real. I feel like if the men's, future main event scene isn't built around some combination of those two, something has gone horribly wrong. They put on a great match, and
They did.
Look, that spot where Obafemi just launches Javon Evans from the ring through the announce table was one of the nuttier things I saw this weekend. So overall, it was a really fun main event. I really liked that one, and I really think that if you're not building your main event scene through, especially at least through Obafemi a couple years down the road,
Yes,
then some mistakes have been made.
I do agree. We also got Blake Monroe over Jordan Grace. I know Blake Monroe's kind of the hotness right now, but I was kind of pulling Jordan Grace to win that match. I was sort of kind of pulling for her.
It's kind of funny with that because on one hand, I thought Jordan Grace might win, but then I realized when it comes to WWE, when they book a whole somebody's being a bully storyline, the bully normally always wins. So
Yep.
That doesn't surprise me at all. But it'll be interesting to see where Jordan Grace goes from here. It feels like that she's starting out her NXT career doing a lot more losing than I initially expected.
Yeah. We got a triple threat match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship, and a shocker to me because I thought Jessie James was going to retain. Ash by Elegance defeats Jane and Marsha Slamovich, who I had the honor of interviewing her a couple of years ago, but Ash by Elegance gets the win. I was sort of kind of shocked by that too because I thought JC Jane would have retained, but no, I was completely wrong. They threw a curveball.
And it's always nice when they're not predictable like that.
I got a question for you, Will, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What did you mean by that reaction?
I'm just not a fan of Marsha.
You said her name and you
I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan of when she came on the show, she was kind of rude at that point. I don't know if things have changed for her. She was kind of rude to me and my host at the time. And then I heard her talk in a promo, and it's like, They're like, matter of fact, she cut a promo on TNA before Heatwave that I thought was just trash. She can't talk, and she's a hell of an athlete. Do not get me wrong, but she can't talk. And to me, that's one of the 3 things you have to be successful. You got to have the look, you got to be able to talk, and you have to be able to go in the ring. And she's a hell of an athlete. I will give her props. She just can't talk, man. And if you can't cut a promo, unless you have a manager, I'm just not into you as a fan.
Well, right?
Not,
the managers.
You get yourself. They need to bring those managers back. By the way,
you know what? I just created a new show for WWE. Maybe Managers University.
There you go. There you go. I'll gladly sign up for that show. I can put somebody over dog on it. But congratulations to Ash. But like I say, that's a curveball, and I didn't see that coming. We got a tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Dark State beats Hawk and Tank by pinfall to win the titles. That was a decent match. What did you think, Brett?
I just think the NXT Tag Team division is in a weird place when we have Dark State and Hank and Tank competing for the tag team championships. It really feels like they're kind of in a lull right now when they gotta slowly rebuild that tag division back up. But overall, fun match. All those guys did a good job in the ring. So
y'all got this stuff in.
Oh yeah. No, they both teams did good. It just feels like that. We really need to start building up some more tag teams in that NXT tag division soon.
Yep. And finally, we had a triple threat match to determine the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship. We all saw this coming. Lola Rice defeats Jada Parker and Kalani Jordan by pinfall. We all saw that coming. Come on now.
Oh, absolutely.
Come on now. I mean, not only is she over by a bunch, I love Jada Parker. Don't get me wrong. And I don't know how you fellas feel about Jada. Do y'all think she's ready for a world championship run?
No, I don't. They're not exactly the same type of athlete, but I feel about her the way I feel about Jade. I feel like she still needs some more polish, right? I think she needs to hone her craft more. I don't think she's ready for a title run.
I don't think she is either. Much as I like her, I don't think she's quite ready.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I just don't think I just think they're pushing her too soon.
Yeah. All right, real quick. I know you guys watched WWE Raw last night. We got Dragon Lee defeating JD McDonough. Any thoughts on that match at all?
I mean, it's one of those matches that could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But the outcome didn't. I'm not disappointed because McDonough, we don't talk about it enough. He's an incredibly entertaining in-ring performer, and he can sell anybody he's in the ring with. So entertaining match. It wouldn't surprise me if they matched up again next week and McDonough won.
Brett, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's a match that it happened. It's one of those things that it was a fun little match, but overall I wasn't really invested in the result either way. But the fact that they're pushing the Judgment Day so hard, I kind of figured JD would win, and all the credit in the world to him. JD is an absolutely terrific performer, so I'd love to see it.
The thing with JD is he's becoming. And I'm not going, and I don't mean to say this out of disrespect, but he's becoming a very good hand. Kind of like when Miz first started out, he was just a good hand until he started winning those titles.
Right.
That's what JD is. He's a very good hand and can make anybody look good in the ring. He's becoming that guy, and that will be a good state for almost any wrestler to be in.
I love that comparison. Saying he's a good hand. Will, I think JD. I'm gonna give him a high compliment. He could be a modern era version of Arn Anderson.
Yeah, because Arn put a lot of people over.
Yeah.
Arn put Book over to win his first world championship when he won the world television championship on Monday Night Nitro. He put Booker over, so got to give Arn props for that. We got Kofi Kingston in the match defeating Penta. I was kind of hoping Penta would go over.
I felt like you knew Penta was going to lose because the previous week Penta had he just took out what's old boy's name? The other part of the New Day.
Xavier Woods.
Yeah, he just took out Woods, and they're trying to make this into like a mini feud, if you will. So it didn't shock me that Kofi won. I think they're going to try to turn this into something, but whatever they turn it into, I'm already convinced it's not going to be interesting. I maybe it's me, guys, but I remember a time when Kofi Kingston was in a singles match, and I was hyped for it. It was exciting, and to watch them reduce to what they are now, where I'm like, oh no, they're in the ring. I don't want to see them anymore. I don't. Whatever direction creative is taking them in, it's the wrong direction. If you want to tell me they're veterans and they're on the other side of competing for titles, I get that, but they can still look and come across a certain way. Now they just seem like sideshow entertainment,
right?
Like, you know what I mean? And I just think that's demeaning to them when you think about all that they've accomplished.
You agree with that sentiment, Brett?
Oh, yeah. I think they, at the end of the day, right now with the New Day, I feel like they just gotta turn them face at this point. The heel turn has done nothing for them, and it's been an absolute disaster. The turn itself was absolutely fantastic, and they just absolutely have not followed up with it. And now it's gotten to the point where it's like, oh, the New Day, cool, I guess. And then you just kind of move on. It's really unfortunate because, one of the dream matches that, I was thinking about when, Penta first came to the WWE was getting him and Ray Phoenix versus the New Day.
Mm-hmm.
And that felt like one of the dream tag team matchups. But right now, with how badly their heel run's going, I'm just like, oh, I'm not really that interested in that match.
Yeah, and like Mo said it perfectly, for what a team that's accomplished so much, it's just really taken away from what they've done with this bad heel run. All right, we also got Becky Lynch accepting Nikki Bella's challenge for the Women's IC Championship at Clash in Paris. Guys, I don't care for Nikki Bella. My opinion is this, and I don't mean to be insensitive when I say this, but I think WB is throwing her a bone because of her legal situation.
Right.
And I don't think that she would be back otherwise. And I have no interest in seeing her win any title at all. And particularly defeating Becky Lynch for the IC title. It makes no sense.
No, it don't make any sense at all. One, she's well past the peak of her powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would honestly say that at the peak of her powers, she would have no business beating Becky Lynch, let alone where she's at now at this stage of her career. I feel like I don't view her as a credible challenger. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like she came out of nowhere, hasn't beaten anybody, and suddenly she gets a title shot. She's done nothing to warrant a title shot. Like there's so many other people that should be ahead of her. Like, shouldn't she have to go through Jade Cargill? Shouldn't she have to go to somebody like that? Shouldn't she have to beat EO or someone like that? Like, who is she beating to get a title shot?
Right. What you think about Nikki Bella, bro?
Say, it's funny when it comes to Nikki. I really don't mind it. At the end of the day, this is kind of how we normally see the legends used, right? You bring them in for the champion to, beat, to build up their title reign, to make it more credible, and then eventually she'll, Becky will lose it down the line to somebody, and it'll just make it feel all that much more worth it. So at the end of the day, I think the end result here is just, Nikki helping get Becky Lynch's title reign over that much further. So I really don't mind. At the end of the day, with Nikki, she is a legend. A lot of the women look up to her. So I'm okay. I'm okay with her getting her one-off title shot, and then continuing to move on to other things.
That's a good question, Mo. That's your question.
Is she a legend though? I know WWE calls her a legend, but is she a legend? I remember her and her sister at the best versions of themselves. I think we're getting a little liberal with the word legend. A legend? Not a legend. She's a former wrestler, a legend. That's kind of a reach.
I wouldn't even call. Oh my goodness! I wouldn't even call the Bella Twins an iconic tag team.
They're not. Remember the era they came from. Remember what they did in that era, and remember how they were in the ring. And then use the word legend. They don't go together.
Hey, but well, I mean, with them, you know, their in-ring work might have not always been the greatest, but you know what? They were able to do some pretty cool things, like help be a part of the Women's Revolution back in 2015, and of course, Nikki was part of the original Evolution main event. So, you know, I think at the end of the day, when it comes to legend, WWE, they're like very clearly views her as such. So that it can be questionable with some people, but I think it's pretty clear that WWE views her as a legend, especially when they're doing things like throwing her in the Evolution 1 main event. Like, that was a huge deal at the time.
No, I get it. I get that they call her a legend, but I mean, you could call the Brooklyn Brawler a legend over and over again. I'm not gonna believe he's a legend. I know he's not. I don't think she's a legend. Like Trish could get legend status. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I get why she would get legend status because she's actually accomplished. I think the Bellas, like, what they did was more. They were less wrestlers and more performers. If I could put it that way, I just don't think I would call them legends. I get what they did in their era. I'm not sure I still would call them legends. They're you know what, with that line, they're bigger stars. They were better stars than they were performers.
That brings me to me, they're kind of in the same space as Michelle McCool to me, because to me, she's not a Hall of Fame. No disrespect.
She's not.
Because she did it. She did it. She was in the ring. I get it. I never was. She was. But to me, I don't get why they call her or will put her into the Hall of Fame.
You know why?
Yeah, we all know why.
But
because if you take that away, and the only excuse I will give her is the fact that she wrestled at a time where social media wasn't at its peak. You know, because there really wasn't a Twitter back then. Internet was just a baby at that point. And for her to, I kind of feel like the Bella Twins are in sort of kind of that same spot in terms of being questionable. You call Michelle McCool Hall of Famer. For them to call the Bella Twins iconic. Now you can call who they dated iconic. You call they dated iconic.
I'm saying,
or married iconic.
I kind of like where you're going with that. That's what I'm saying. Like, the Bella Twins were more like wrestling's Kardashians, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Bigger celebrities than we remember them in the actual ring. Like, remember them in the ring and tell me that they're legends. Like, you can tell me they're huge stars, but they're not legends.
To me, when you're looking at a legend or a Hall of Famer, you've done something to attain that status in the ring. So, and this is what I always say: quick, tell me a impactful Michelle McCool match. Don't worry, I'll wait.
Well, okay,
because her tag team was more iconic than her singles career.
Let's say, but it's the WWE Hall of Fame. Like, Michelle McCool is like hardly the least like worst induction in there. Like, it's when it comes to the WWE Hall of Fame, they just don't really have a criteria, right? So I'm not really going to harp on, Michelle, for example, when we have teams like, the Bushwhackers in the Hall of Fame. Like, what did the Bushwhackers do? it's one of those things that I respect anybody in a wrestling ring and anybody in the Hall of Fame. But if we're talking about Hall of Fame standards, like what really is the standard when we really have a lot of people that if you looked at it, like if it was a legitimate Hall of Fame, like you look at some of these names and you're like, what are we doing here? Like some of these names would be like if, tomorrow we inducted, Ben Simmons into the NBA Hall of Fame. We'd be like, what are we doing here? And that's kind of where some of these names are at with the WWE Hall of Fame.
Well, we wouldn't induct Ben Simmons to the Hall of Fame. That's the difference. I mean, unless Ben Simmons was an international player and he played like in the European league and he won like a couple of European titles, then Ben Simmons would get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't do that. Like I get it that it's sports entertainment, and I do respect everybody that's competed in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But your Hall of Fame should matter. It should be for the truly special talents. You know what I mean? Like it's supposed to matter. If the Bushwhackers are in the Hall of Fame, I don't get it. I understand what Brett's saying, but I feel the same way about Michelle McCool. Like, isn't she really just in the Hall of Fame because her husband?
Yep.
Right. It's more because of him than her own ability. And I'm not hating. If you get in, you get in.
Right.
But WWE lets it, like we complain about a lot of Hall of Fames, and again, I know it's sports entertainment, but they make everybody into an icon, even when you're not an icon.
Facts. And I know some of that stuff the Bushwhackers did won't get over today. You can't lick nobody. You can't lick nobody today. Come down the ring and licking somebody on the side of the head. You can't do that nowadays. No.
Look, 95%, if not more, of what they did in the Attitude Era, you can't do that stuff.
You can't do most of that today.
You can't even talk. You can't even talk that way anymore. Like you can't do any of that stuff.
Nope. But yeah, I don't think Nikki's a legend at all.
I mean, she's very popular. If you put it into another criteria, like most popular performers, she's probably, her and her sister, two of the most popular performers in WWE history. I don't disagree with that, but Stacy Keibler was very popular too, but she wasn't a great in-ring talent. She was popular for another reason, but she was very popular. So I'm just saying, we got to have context.
Damn.
It escapes me right now. Real quick, CM Punk's wife is
AJ
Lee.
AJ Lee has more status as a competitor and performer than anything that Bella's ever done. And I don't know if she's considered an icon, but if they're icons, she's icon times 10.
Yeah. And everybody wants AJ Lee back. Everybody wants her back. So we'll see how that goes. We got Rhea Ripley defeating Roxanne Perez. I thought that was a decent match.
And I think Roxanne Perez is incapable of being bad in the ring.
Yeah.
She whatever the it factor is, she covers it. She can do a promo, terrific in the ring. She's got the look. And I knew how this was going to play out because she beat Io the week before. So Rhea comes out, and so Rhea's going to beat her. And so the setup is that Rio, at some point, Rhea's going to beat Io. You know it. I know it. It's coming. They've got this little friendship going right now, but that's not going to last.
And when Rhea beats her, that'll be her first win against her. Yep. What'd you think about this match, Brett?
I'd say it. I always like it when Roxanne and Rhea are in the ring, especially together. They had a great match, and it's going to be an absolutely great time when Rhea and Io feud again. It's one of those things. I'd almost love to see it become like. It would be fun if they almost took like the almost like Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio twist on it back in like 2005 when Eddie turned heel because he couldn't beat Rey Mysterio, so he just one day just beat the living crap out of him. And I think that would be like a fun twist to do with Rhea and Io. Just have them be friends for a long while, and then just out of the blue, just Rhea turns heel and just beats the living crap out of Io and sets up another match between them.
I'm not so sure That's not coming, Brett, because you see them backstage, like, I mean, they look like they're getting ready to do like a buddy movie together or something like that. Like that, there's no way that's not a setup.
We got AJ defeating Finn Balor. When are we gonna get Demon Finn back?
I don't know, but we need him back soon because this current version of him, he's just getting the brakes beat off him every time in singles competition. I'm just tired of it. I will say this: the situation that Finn is in now, with being the tag team championships, it allows him to take L's in singles competition because they're still holding on to the tag team belts.
Right.
Yeah, no, I would love to see a different version of Finn Balor, at least one that maybe, because, obviously being a heel Finn Balor, he's going to wrestle at a much slower pace. And the match between the two, it just felt a little slower than normal, a little more off than a normal AJ Styles Finn Balor match. So overall, I'm glad I got to see it, but at the same time, man, I really love to see, Finn mix it up a little bit and bring back like the Demon, or even just go back to being, the Prince or something like that.
All right, main event time. Braun Breaker defeats Mo's favorite wrestler, LA Knight. Yeah, defeats him. What'd you guys think about that match?
I thought go ahead, Brett. Go ahead.
Oh no, it was fun. It was a fine setup, to the Fatal 4-Way at Clash in Paris. The this whole Seth Riders, it feels like they're absolutely imitating. It's funny with this group with Seth, but I really hope that they switch up the formula with them at some point. I'm sorry, but I don't need to see them, dominate the first 20 minutes of the show with a promo and then them end the show and then they're in the middle of the show. Like,
right.
Sometimes less is more. And I feel like that at the end of the day, when it comes to this faction, I think, it's going to be fine. But I just need to see a little less of them on my, on the show. Like, I feel like there's so much talent on the roster that we're past the point where we need to do, the Triple H method of opening up the show for 20 minutes with a promo and with the same faction that just ends up main eventing, and then you see them 3 times. Like, there's so much talent on the roster. Like, I kind of hope that they maybe start cutting back on some of their screen time and giving it to some others, because I don't really need to see them for 45 minutes to an hour of a 2.5 hour show.
Oh yeah. Facts.
I thought they over promoed. Like, that's what it was. It was over promoed. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually tired of the tribal thief thing. I'm kind of tired of that. Like if your biggest claim to fame is you stole a man's shoes, I don't know if that's really something to hang your hat on. Like, I stole your sneaks. That makes me that guy. Like, I stole your sneaks. Like, and you're wearing them. You're wearing another man's funky sneaks around your way. I don't know, man. I look for better trophies than somebody's funky sneaks, but that's me.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on over to the world of the NFL. As the title of the show suggested, our hold-ins are now over. Trey Hendrickson signs a new deal that gives him takes his 2025 salary to $30 million. He also gets something very good on the back end, is the fact that he gets released in the free agency. Let me start with you, Gardy. What do you think about this new deal for Trey Hendrickson?
I mean, it's fine. It's one of those things that it helps the Bengals this year, but does obviously absolutely nothing for them long term. It's the pretty much the same contract that they offered him in the beginning of free agency, except instead of a 3-year deal, they're just like, we're just going to give you the 1 year, but it's just fully guaranteed. So it's a good thing that they have him, but the fact that now he's just going to walk into free agency next year, they just better have a good contingency for him, and they better be drafting straight defensive linemen next year in the draft. And picking some up in free agency because this is the team. This is the defense that was bad with them. It's going to be bad with them against this year.
Yep.
And unless like some of these young guys like Shamar Stewart make some monster leap, they're still going to be exponentially worse without him next year. So it just feels very short-sighted a little bit to just be like, oh, here's a Band-Aid. Here's a one-year contract. Oh, great. Guess what? Now you're in the same position of a defense that's going to be hemorrhaging points next year unless you find a way to completely revamp an entire defense in one offseason, which normally doesn't work out very well.
Mo, any thoughts?
I think that it's the whole move, like Brett said, is they didn't make a big change in the offer. What he got out of it was he got a little bit more money up front, and he's going to get his freedom, right? Because he's going to walk. But I thought about it. Maybe this move benefits both because I believe he's 31, 32. So look, I don't know how much longer he has at a high level left in him. There's no way to ring that bell and know that. So I think it's a move that if you're Cincinnati and you're not confident in giving him a long-term deal, this is the best outcome for you. You get him on a 1-year rental and you keep it moving. For Hendrickson, he becomes a free agent, but I would talk to him and his agent. I'd be going, yes, you're a free agent, but this time next year, you'll be a 32-year-old free agent that plays defensive end. And depending on what kind of season you have this year, it'll dictate your value. Like last year, he had a big season, but what if he has a season this year where he has 9 sacks?
Right.
Going into free agency, he's going to lose some money. So it's a risk.
Big risk when you always bet on yourself, but we'll see if he can be successful. Meanwhile, over in our nation's capital, we got Terry McLaurin signing a 3-year, $96 million extension. Mo, I'll start with you. Do you like the terms of this extension?
I think it's a good deal for McLaurin. I would say, though, why couldn't you have gotten this done earlier? Like, we got this done at the 11th hour. Like, why does it always have to come to that? But you have him here, and Brett talks about this a lot where, okay, now you have him. What you're going to do, ramp up his conditioning and try to get him ready for week 1. And when you do that, what happens 9 times out of 10? Terry McLaurin sprains an ankle, is out for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it sets up that. So that would be my concern, that they try to do that old ramp it up thing. Like, maybe you ramp it up, but he doesn't play as much week 1, and you really try to shoot for week 2. But I think that it bodes well for Jaden Daniels because that's his guy. That's the guy that he's developed chemistry with. That's the guy that he has confidence with, and he's a big piece of that offense. He is a legitimate number 1. And now that he's back in the fold, Debo goes back to what Debo is, which I would say he's 2-ish, probably more of a 3, but the point is, I think their offense gets better by you having Terry Mack back.
Brett?
Yeah, I think this is a move that should have been made earlier. Like, is there a real chance of, maybe like his age, like 30 and 31 season, he declines when it comes to Terry McLaurin? Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a chance, but at the end of the day, this offense just wasn't going to work as well without him. So it's a deal that definitely needed to be made. And he's still an elite receiver, and I still think he's going to be an elite receiver for at least a couple more years. And when you have a quarterback on a rookie contract, this is the kind of move you make. Like, you can make an argument that, they slightly overpaid Terry McLaurin, but I think that you're in a situation where even a slight overpay is absolutely fine. And DK Metcalf kind of, messed up the market by getting $33 million.
Yeah.
So that just kind of raised the price. So I think at the end of the day, 32 is, absolutely fine for McLaurin.
You paid $33 million for a man that can't run routes.
Man looks like he's running routes like Drewski against those construction workers. Like, come on now.
But he can jump out the gym. He can
run a good go route, but
oh yeah. I bet that's about it. Now we got some news from Raiders camp. Wide receiver Jacoby Myers has requested a trade. Brett, I'll start with you. What do you think his trade value would be?
I think it's funny. I don't think the Raiders are actually going to trade him, but
Me either.
I think that he has some good trade value. I think you can still get maybe like a late, day 2 pick or an early day 3 pick for him. Probably closer to day 3 pick, I would say. But I like him. He's a solid vet who's going to make some good plays for you. He's a vet that every team that's looking to win now would love to have. He's just a great hands, a great veteran talent. So like I feel like that you could if you could get your hands on him for like a day 3 pick, that'd just be an absolutely terrific pickup for any team. He's just such an underrated talent.
Mo, what we thinking about Jacoby Myers being traded from the Raiders?
I think the Raiders are fine with it. He's a good player, but they just signed Amari Cooper, and you can say a lot of things about Amari Cooper, but everything you said about Myers, Amari Cooper's better than him. He's better than him. Amari Cooper, there's been a lot of wide receivers over the years that have had a higher peak than Amari Cooper. But in terms of his consistency, like what you can book on in terms of production, he's as consistent a wide receiver as there's been the last decade. So if they decide to trade Meyer, I get it. But they're not going to miss a beat because they just got Amari Cooper, who's a better football player.
We'll see. We'll see if Amari Cooper has anything left in the tank. I'm not sure about that.
It's one. Is it Amari? How old is Amari Cooper? 30? 31? Like the great thing about wide receivers, barring major injuries, is they age well. They age incredibly well.
He'll do you good for home games. I don't know about road games. He'll do you good for home games.
Well, I'm right, but I mean, just think about the two players. Put Meyer up against Amari Cooper.
Yeah,
Amari Cooper's better.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure that age-wise they're not like right next to each other age-wise. And Amari Cooper, you know what you're getting. He's not a burner. He's a route runner.
Yep. I'm sort of kind of shocked he asked for this trade because I think that's a good combination for Pete Carroll. You got Geno Smith there as your quarterback. You got Genty back there. We're gonna get in. He's one of the top favorites to win Rookie of the Year. So we'll definitely see what the Raiders end up doing. But I don't think they move Myers. I really don't think they do.
I don't think so either. I think he just had an 1,000-yard season for the team last year. They're not going to be in a hurry to move him anytime soon unless he's going to start creating a toxic work environment.
Oh yeah.
Didn't they just trade also for Kenny Pickett?
Yep, they got Kenny Pickett too. Mm-hmm. A.M. McConnell went down with an injury, so you got Kenny Pickett. You got tiny hands. You got tiny hands.
It's funny though, in that Browns situation, Kenny Pickett looking to maybe he could have been the second or third quarterback. Now he goes to the Raiders. He might get playing time sooner than later.
Heck, Kenny Pickett's still in the league. Can you
I can't really tell you. I think he's gonna hang around for a while as a backup. It's exactly where he should be. He's gonna be one of those guys that like 5 years down the road, you're gonna look at the backup quarterback for like the Carolina Panthers, like Kenny Pickett. You're like, I didn't even realize he was in the league.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorite things, by the way, watching preseason when those old names pop up and you're like, they're still in the lead.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I saw like touchdown, Laquan Treadwell. I'm like, I thought he retired years ago. Good for you.
All right, Treadwell, go on do your thing, cuz. Mo, I'll come to you on this one. The Commanders trade Brian Robinson over to your 49ers for a 6th-round pick. Had a career year with the Commanders, 799 rushing yards and eight touchdowns. What is he bringing to your 49ers?
He's a solid football player, good change of pace back. I think the Niners' concerns are their depth at running back. also the health of Christian McCaffrey. I don't think they want to make him a workhorse again. Like I think the plan is to play him, but I don't think you're going to see C-Mac get 28, 30 carries. Like I think they're going to be more, I don't want to say running back by committee, but I think they're going to share the workload more to preserve his body.
Brandon, any thoughts?
I think the most important thing that he brings is availability. When it comes to the 49ers, they seem to deal with a decent amount of injury every year, but especially looking at Christian McCaffrey, who can be, injury prone at times. I think the most important thing is getting Brian Robinson back there so that in case, Christian McCaffrey does have to miss some more time this year, you have a reliable, backup running back that can, at least, tread water in the offense to try to keep it somewhat afloat while he's out. So he can't do everything that McCaffrey can, but the one thing that he can do is just be available and be there. And I think he'll do a perfectly fine job in that regard.
Speaking of which, we traded to get Sky Moore, but we didn't want to go and pursue Amari Cooper, who was available. See, it's things like this why John Lynch get fired. It don't make any sense. The receiving room is as thin or thinner than the running back room because right now we don't have a number one wide receiver.
No.
And I don't need Amari Cooper to be a superstar. He never was, but unless he's not healthy, Amari Cooper will walk right in and be our best wide receiver. Why would you not bring him in versus a guy like Sky Moore, who you're like, you're not bringing Sky Moore in to start. You're just bringing him in as a body. I don't get that.
Actually, I think maybe people might be concerned about Amari Cooper. When it comes to Amari Cooper, he's a guy that in two stints, last year with Cleveland and then the Bills, he didn't look overwhelmingly impressive. It's one of those things where he might have something left in the tank, but it's almost like, T-Mac on the Hawks left in the tank. Like, Unk might still have it some nights, but I think there's a very real concern that Amari Cooper's just starting to, fall off. And if you're a team, if you take a chance on, an Amari Cooper that couldn't even muster, I don't even think he cracked 550 yards or maybe a younger receiver like a Sky Moore. I feel like that's where the 49ers are coming from. They'd rather take a chance on the potential that could, be there for them for the next 3 or 4 years. I'm not saying it might not be the right call. Maybe Cooper does have just a bounce back year and he just had a down year. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that's why, because I feel like they might be concerned that Amari Cooper lost a step last year.
My concern with that is if we're using that analogy, then we're just bringing in Anthony Bennett to play wide receiver. Like, we don't need Anthony Bennett to play wide receiver. Like, whatever is left in Amari Cooper's body is better than what's in Sky Moore. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Patrick Mahomes and company was like, yeah, we don't want this. Like, if they don't want you, why do we want you?
Right. Get back onto the trade real quick. I think the reason why this trade was also done is because the Commanders are very impressed with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, the rookie running back they drafted. I think they were more impressed with him than having B-Rob's money on the books.
I get that.
Well, also Robinson's playing time and touches were like dwindling before the year even ended last year.
Yep.
So like it's one of those things that the signs are already there that they didn't view him as a piece going forward because his touches and snaps just kept going down and down. So, and then obviously Krosky, he stepped up this preseason. And, that just kind of sealed its fate. I think he was just going to get moved regardless after last year. But I think Krosky and, company just kind of gave them more, comfort in letting him finally just, walk. So we'll see if it works out for them. It'll be interesting.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think Shiloh Sanders is going to get picked up by another team?
I mean... Maybe no.
No.
Maybe a practice squad.
Yes, there you go, Brett. That's where I was leaning towards. I think a team that has a need at that position, but not immediate, but thinks that they could coach him up. I think he gets picked up. And look, it sounds like it's not much, but it is something. If somebody puts you in the practice squad, that still gives you an opportunity to continue your career and earn a spot up. So I think, on the roster. So I like where Brett's head at. I think that's exactly what happens to him.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right? First off, that was weird because the NFL made a whole graphic like, "Oh, Shiloh Sanders released," and I'm just like, man, I need to see them do that for some more undrafted free agents because of what? But no, I don't think he goes anywhere but a practice squad, and it was so weird. People were like complaining that he got ejected from that last preseason game. I'm like, dude, he threw a punch right in front of the ref. Like the ref was 2 feet away from him. Like you can't do that when you're on the roster bubble because people were, sitting there like, well, Myles Garrett hit somebody with his helmet. I'm like, franchise cornerstone superstar level player.
Right.
Preseason on the bubble might not even make the roster. There's a difference. When you're on the bubble, you have to like keep your composure. And like, I don't even think it was a lock that he makes it if he doesn't punch somebody in the face, but he lost his temper and just straight up punched somebody in front of the ref. I think at that point, you just kind of sealed your own fate. So I just hope that he takes it as a learning experience and, learns from it going forward.
Now, the next thing that I have, NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year odds. I want to see what you guys think about this. Ashton Jeanty is at plus 275. Cam Ward, who I think will win it, is at plus 350. Amari Hampton is at plus 550. Travis Hunter is plus 1,000. Trevon Henderson is at plus 1,200. Ted McMillan is plus 1,600. I'm really high on Ted McMillan for fantasy. Emeka Obuka is at 1,800. And Matthew Golden and Jackson Dart both at plus 2,000. Fellas, you think was the rookie of the year? Brett, I'll start with you.
Oh, Shedeur Sanders. I think it just will be straight up Jeanty. I think he's in a perfect position where he's gonna put up the usage. He's gonna get a high number of touches, so he's gonna put up some pretty nutty stats for his rookie year. And I think he can, between him, Bowers, I think that they could possibly, get the Raiders to a decent enough win total. So I don't think the Raiders will, make the playoffs, but I think they can win enough games, and Jeanty will look that impressive that I feel like that sometimes the obvious answer is the right answer in this situation where I just think it's Jeanty.
Mo?
I agree. I'm with you, Will, that I think Cam Ward is going to have an exciting, impactful rookie year. But I think that when you're at the quarterback position, unless you have an incredibly clean season, meaning you don't have double digits in picks or turnovers or any kind of way, it's going to impact you. And I think that it would shock me if Cam Ward didn't have double-digit turnovers as a rookie quarterback. I think Jeanty's a 1,300 to 1,500-yard back who's probably going to have 10 touchdowns or more total. And the only thing that's going to stop that young man from winning Rookie of the Year is if he suffers some type of injury, which I absolutely hope doesn't happen. I don't want anyone to be injured, period. I know that's an impossible wish, but I'd like this to be a major injury clean free season if possible. But I think Jeanty's gonna be the rookie of the year easy.
I'm loving Cam Ward because he has somebody on that team who can help him connect with the long ball and Calvin Ridley. I'm loving what Cam can do for that team. He can move around in the pocket. He can run a little bit. I'm liking what he can bring to that Tennessee Titans team. Something they hadn't had in a long time is excitement. So I'm loving what he does. Another dude I'm looking at for this, Tate McMillan. I'm really liking him. He's gonna be the number one in Carolina before it's all said and done with what they have in that roster now. So I'm really liking Tate McMillan. And I think Michael Golden, with those injuries that can happen to that Packers wide receiver core, you'll see Jay Reed go down from time to time. You'll see Romeo Dobbs go down from time to time. I think Michael Golden might have a stab at it too.
I definitely think it's wide open. Like, we can pick Genty to be the favorite to win it, but it's definitely wide open. Now, I think Ted McMillan has a fantastic shot. I think the only thing that'll hold Golden back is Jordan Love and the Green Bay offense kind of run more of a spread offense. So
yeah,
all the touches aren't going to be dedicated to one receiver. So I think that's going to be the thing that holds Golden back. But I think he has a fair shot at it. Like, this is going to be a fun offensive rookie of the year race. Like, there's a lot of guys that you can argue have a legitimate chance at this thing. So while I think Genty is very rightfully the odds-on favorite, it's definitely wide open, and I can't wait to see how it plays out.
I would agree with that. I believe it's gonna be Genty, but I could be wrong. I think it's open to interpretation as the season progresses. You want a dark horse guy who could end up having a good rookie season, even on a bad football team. It could be Jackson Dart.
Could be.
It could be.
Could be. He's got Malik Neighbors there, so we'll see. We'll definitely see.
Well, yeah. I mean, and he doesn't have any pressure on. He doesn't have pressure of having to win. Not as a rookie quarterback. Not on the Giants.
I'm so upset with the Giants. They cut my boy. They cut Tommy DeVito. They should be ashamed of themselves. Why y'all cut Tommy like that? Come on.
That's a tough QB room though. They get because you got Dart. Right, you got Dart, and then you got Will and Carlton. You're not cutting them.
Will and Carlton.
Yeah, so I mean,
that is tough. Yeah, but I think Tommy will bounce back. He'll be someone's backup. I think he'll bounce back. He'll be somebody's backup.
He can be the starter on the Saints.
Hell yeah, that's what I was just telling Mo.
He did say that, but in the green room, Chad, if you're listening, Will said those exact words. Will's like, we need to pick up Tommy DeVito.
Go get Tommy DeVito. Go get him. Go get him. He'll be better than anything you got right now. Woo.
And I'm putting it out there. I would be shocked if Tommy doesn't get picked up by somebody else real quick.
I think somebody will get him. I think somebody will get Tommy Cutlets. Somebody's got to go get Tommy Cutlets. Gonna switch over to the NBA real quick as we finish up the show. Bulls to retire Derrick Rose's jersey, January the 24th. Mo, what's your synopsis on Derrick Rose's career?
Incredibly too short. His prime, because of the injury. But from his rookie year to the year he won the MVP, I mean, just the excitement and the electricity that he brought to Chicago. Like, Derrick Rose was the guy. You know what's a tough act to follow? The next guy that's Michael Jordan, right? And there were some good players in Chicago, but Derrick Rose was the first guy since Michael Jordan where Chicago fans were like, we got the guy. We got a guy that makes us relevant, that makes us – and like he checked all the boxes, charismatic, fearless, relentless, made them contenders. He was box office. D Rose was – I mean – He's not only blowing by you, breaking ankles, he's dunking on your center. Like, he was that dude. He was that electric. Like, I made a point to watch Bulls game because of Derrick Rose.
Gardy, what you think about D Rose?
Yeah, and the fact that he was able to have all those nasty injuries and still stay in the league for like another decade is just a testament to how badly he wanted it. Just overall a great talent, and the fact that, he still played at a very high level after, like, the injuries. This is a guy that was so good that, he was great, for example, in that 2015 Bulls playoff run. That 50-piece with the Minnesota Timberwolves was just an awesome moment to watch.
You needed that.
He went to the Knicks in his second stint and apparently played so motivated that he got, a first-place MVP vote in 2021. Like, just the fact that he's even in those, getting considered for things like that and dropping 50 pieces after his prime, after the horrific injuries, and obviously his prime, he's an MVP winner. Like, He's just an incredible talent that I absolutely wish I could have gotten to see more of his prime. But the jersey retirement is absolutely worth it for D Rose. I'm glad he's getting it.
I hope, Will, and you're the Bulls expert, but I hope a lot of the Bulls greats turn out for him.
Oh yeah. Well, because he was one of the few players that we had that you will actually go see and say must see TV, because they definitely ain't got nobody on the squad like that now. Definitely ain't got nobody like that on the squad. No, hell no. Definitely ain't Patrick. It definitely ain't Patrick Williams. No, hell no.
He was special. D Rose was special. I want people to remember that his MVP year, he was so special that when they played Miami, the Miami Big Three in the playoffs, Miami fourth quarters. Like, they not only had LeBron James on him, they hedged and was bringing Wade and other. You know what I mean? Like that's how important he was to that offense. That the Heat were like, we just need to take him away. That Miami was not afraid of losing if Luol Deng got an open shot.
Not at all. All right. Before we get on out here, any closing thoughts, fellas, before we get on out of here for today?
I would just tell everybody, make sure you guys join Brett and I later on for Meaty Boys tonight. We're going to be talking a lot more wrestling. So appreciate you guys for stopping in later on tonight, 9:00. Joining us on the Wire to Wire Network.
Absolutely. We'll be talking some AEW Forbidden Door. We have, probably talk about some things that, I posted on the network page. I posted a graphic of my wrestling Canadian Mount Rushmore.
Oh, yeah.
Which generated some interesting takes. So, we'll talk some more about that. It'll be a great time.
All right. Don't forget, again, join these guys for Meaty Boys tonight. They're going to bring you some great wrestling action. I want to say thank you for everybody coming through. We do appreciate you guys here on Wire to Wire Network joining us this morning. And as always, if you mow better, you do better. Mo, take us out.
Hey, thank you guys so much for joining us. Appreciate you, chat, for all the energy. Guys, make sure you check out all the great content we have at Wire to Wire Network. Wire to Wire Network, appreciate you.
We're going to finish up this show by showing you what other shows you can catch on Wire to Wire Network, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.